Chair at magandang umaga po, Secretary, at sa lahat po. Yung una ko pong mga tanong tungkol sa cancellation of the Socorro Bayanihan Services Inc. Protected Area Community-Based Resource Management Agreement. So last week, DENR canceled the Pakbrama of the SBSI. I understand that DENR started investigating the violations of the agreement as early as 2019. It denied Bayanihan's community-based resource management plan in 2019 for violations related to checkpoints and military-style training of its security. So even then, so can you please confirm this, Madam Secretary?
I wish to just clarify that what the DNR has issued is a suspension of the Pakbarma, pending our investigation now on the violations that were identified, given the specific document, Madam Chair, Your Honor, that I have shared with you. We had personally served yesterday evening at the site of the Kapihan, the suspension. It is also served by registered mail. So as of yesterday, they had received the suspension order in person.
As you mentioned, it is correct. In 2019, there was an investigation done, actually by then Secretary Roy Simatu with the DILG Secretary Ed Año, and visited this area due to the pressing issues regarding SBSI. Namely restrictions in the entry of a farmer non-member with farm lot situated within the Pakbarma area. Number 2, alleged establishment of the checkpoint and military training within the Pakbarma area. And number 3, alleged resignation of teachers, men in uniform, and elected barangay officials. And number 4, establishment of structures within the Pakbarma area. So as early as 2019, ma'am, there was an investigation done already regarding certain issues. No? The last action of SBSI that the DNR required them to have was a CBRMP. That's a community-based resource management plan.
Binanggit nyo nga na tenurial instrument ito, pero walang condition na you can live there unless certain conditions are met. And in fact, may higit 3,000 tao na nakatira na po doon, including more than 1,000 children. And hindi pa nga natin na itatanong, ano bang carrying capacity nung area na yon. And salamat binanggit nyo rin na yung usapin ng livelihood, bahagi yun ng pakete ng Pakbarma. And that's also related to one of my follow-up questions. Yes, Madam Chair, of course.
Intercede. You're talking of carrying capacity. Are we allowed to build houses in a legislated protected area for the normal people? I mean,
Madam Chair, actually, in that under the provisions
the whole Siargao is a legislated protected area, and that has been approved by Congress. I cannot imagine that we will allow people to live in a legislated protected area.
Although Yusek, Madam Chair, I understand ang Kapihan, bahagi ng Barangay Sering sa Socorro, bagamat bahagi din ng Surigao del Norte, distinct siya dun sa Siargao as protected area. But meron nga po kayong Pakbarma sa kanila. So if the good Yusek could please address the question of the Chair.
Madam Chair, yes. Under the provisions of the Pakbarma, there shall be no permanent structures built within the protected area. Because the Pakbarma is a protected area agreement. It's a community-based forest management agreement inside the protected area. And yes, Madam Chair, you are correct. Permanent structures shouldn't be built within the area because we are still under the assumption that it's government property and it's only leased out. So we do not allow the building of permanent structures. Yes, Madam Chair.
Salamat, Madam Chair. If I may continue, Yusek, bago ko dumako dun sa usapin ng resettlement na binanggit nyo na po, I understand there was also substantial clearance of the forest. Bahagi po ba ito ng findings ng investigation before or now?
Madam Chair, actually, that's one of the things we'd like to we'd like the investigative team to look at, no, because it's very essential for us, since like I mentioned, Madam Chair, Your Honor, that it's only the agreement is truly for creation of jobs through planting, through harvesting of certain portions. So there's a declared CBP. They have a community-based plan wherein it's identified which areas they can harvest and they can plant on. So even the species are identified, bamboo, rattan, there are certain species that are utilized. So that's all part of the community-based resource management plan. Your Honor.
But I would guess po, Yusek, Madam Chair, na yung sinasabing alleged substantial clearance, hindi po yan contemplated sa isang pakbarma.
Yes, Your Honor.
Salamat, Yusek. And maybe just as a follow-up to this, yes, Madam
I'd
Chair.
like to show the picture.
Yes,
Okay,
Madam
I-
Chair.
We have pictures, so you will.
Salamat po, Madam Chair. And as we're also looking at these photos, Yusek, Madam Chair, at bago tayo dumako dun sa usapin, importanteng usapin ng resettlement, with these violations, no, why did it take 4 years? I mean, a long time to cancel or to suspend the pakbarma of SBSI.
Madam Chair, Your Honor, if it's okay, I have the regional director of Region 13, who is more familiar with the territory and very familiar with the ongoings in the area.
Yes, Madam Chair, Regional Director, just dun lang po sa punto pong iyon, bakit po tumagal ng 4 na taon kahit may nadidiskubre na pong mga violations bago masuspinde po yung pakbarma ng SBSI?
Yung simula po ng us finding out of these activities, ano pong mga taon na 2019. So that was during the pandemic, and then there was
Can you
earthquake.
introduce yourself?
Oh, by the way, I'm Regional Director Noni Tamayo po ng DENR Caraga. That was the pandemic, the earthquake, and then Odette. So while we've been doing our monitoring regularly in the areas, I must admit that for humanitarian reason, parang nakonsider ko po yun na hindi ko recommend for cancellation. But then again, we wrote them 2 letters, twice, in 2021 and 2022, reminding them of their obligations. So basically yun po, Madam Chair, Your Honor,
Yung 3 pong dahilan na binanggit nyo, Director, pandemic, earthquake, at ano po yung pangatlo?
Odette, ma'am, Odette.
Si Typhoon Odette, opo. Well, siguro naman kahit nung pandemic, gumagana pa rin naman yung gobyerno natin. Pati po yung mga department, pati po yung mga regional offices ng department. Yung nabanggit yung pong earthquake, actually, ayon sa aming pananaliksik, yun pa nga yung ginamit na dahilan, excuse, para hikayatin nung pinaka-leader ng SBSI, yung libo-libong mga taong umakyat doon sa kapihan. And Typhoon Odette, di umano, at ito po iniimbestigahan ngayon ng DSWD, pati daw po yung disaster ayuda sa mga tao, kinaltasan pa daw po ng mga leader ng SBSI. So, sayang po, posible mahirap nang balikan ng nakaraan, pero posible po kung umaksyon sa tamang paraan at degree ng mas timely yung regional office, baka nga po hindi gumrabe ng gumrabe yung sitwasyon po doon. Hindi lang kaugnay ng pakbarma, pero sabi nyo nga for humanitarian reasons, hindi inaksyon na ng office nyo. Pero nagkaroon talaga in fact, ng humanitarian problems doon. Lalo na sa mga bata na amin pong kasalukuyang iniimbestiga ni Chair Duroy de la Rosa. So, well, gusto ko lang pong i-make of record yon, Madam Chair, para sa kaalaman para manote din po sana ng regional office, kasi ilan pa kaya mga pakbarma sa ating bansa ay kung nangangailangan ng aksyon ng regional offices, mangangailangan nito in timely fashion po. Hindi po aabot ng 4 na taon at paggrabe pala yung sitwasyon. Ano pong mangyayari dun sa 3,500 people na katira sa area, lalo na po yung mga kababaihan at yung mga bata? Saan po sila ilo-locate or i-relocate?
In our conversation with Secretary Rex Gatchalian, He also cited, in fact, the concerns. And so we will be actually having that design of an integrated approach, Madam Chair, Your Honor. In fact, as of the suspension, there will be no movement at this time. The investigation is ongoing. And if I may just share, Madam Chair, Your Honor, the SBSI is not the only Pakbarma in the area. There are several.
In the Philippines, how many protected area you have sublet to people?
So right now, Madam Chair, as of the data that we have available, and we will complete this as
Yes,
we
to make a report.
put
But
this
give us
together.
an idea of
Yes,
how
ma'am.
many protected areas.
Out of the 114, 22 PAs have 37 approved SAPA or
Isapa.
SAPA. Special agreement on the protected areas po.
Okay.
So we will
So,
complete that.
37.
Yes, madam. On the
And-
Pakbarma issue, there are a total of 119 Pakbarmas. I wish to point out, Madam Chair, just for this discussion, in the Socorro municipality, there are 9 Pakbarmas.
What is a Pakparma?
Protected area.
That's the protected
Community-based
area.
Resource
Yes,
Management
ma'am.
Agreement.
Madam Chair.
Area. What is SAPA?
Special agreement for the protected area.
So they are both agreements.
Yes, madam.
So it's 37 plus 119.
On the Pakbarmas, madam, there are 119.
So almost all the protected areas have.
Madam Chair, the Pakbarmas are concentrated on specific areas. And if I may just share,
So how many protected areas are affected? There are 116, 156 agreements, di ba? In total.
Madam Chair,
Madam Chair,
can you also cite how many hectares yung coverage ng mga
Yeah, they will make a report. I
Madam
just
Chair,
want
we
to
will be
have an
submitting.
idea of how many protected
Yes,
areas have agreement. Para, ano,
Madam Chair, there are, up to the INIPAS law, 114
Yes.
protected areas, okay? After the INIPAS, how many more were enacted into law?
no, that's
7? Okay, let's,
no, 101 plus 7, and now we are enacting 13.
okay, never mind that what we are enacting. So let's peg it at the 114 up to the INIPAS law. And let's do it this way. Before the assumption of Secretary Loizaga, what were the protected areas, marine or terrestrial, that have community-based forest management, CBFM, SAPA, what is SAPA? The Special Agreement for Protection. Okay, how many have SAPA? And what
156.
And then what are the other tenurial agreements? Or if it's not tenurial, whatever agreements there are between DNR and or LGU with a PO, cooperative, association, an LGU movement, or informal settlers that may not have a SAPA or a CBFM or any agreement, but you are aware that they exist and nahihirapan kayo. Yan, to be fair. So that is what we're asking. Before Sec Loizaga, who was only installed 1 year ago. So how can a supposed alleged cult, I don't want to pass judgment because I don't have firsthand information, secure a CBFM? And under what movement, under what cooperative, what are the documents? I think that is a answer that begs a question, and then the secretary can mention all various arrangements with tenurial agreements, whatever, in PAs. That's a fair question, right? Okay, thank you.